So this, ready to roll. Very good. Well, good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. I will find out now if there are any additions to the agenda.
There are no additions.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to ask counsel if he would read the closed session items into the record.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pleasure to be here this morning with you. We have 3 items on the closed session for this morning. Item 2A is pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. It's conference with labor negotiators and the employee units are all units up for discussion today. The second item is conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, initiation of litigation pursuant to subdivision D4 of Government Code Section 54956.9, and there's 1 case up for discussion today. And the third item is pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, that's public employee performance evaluation, and the position being evaluated as public health officer.
Very good, thank you. And are there any questions or comments, clarifications requested by the public? Hearing or seeing none. The clerk of the board brought me a note that said roll call, so I thought we could see who we're all here, but go ahead, let's do a roll call.
Supervisor Frazier.
Here.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Here.
Supervisor Wheeler.
Here.
Chairman Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers is absent.
Call.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and with that, we will move into closed session.
Yeah, let's do. Oh, perfect. Now I got 2 waters. Measles. See?
looking good. Yes, sir. And all the gentlemen.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. They don't need to.
Ready? Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a regular meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Today is August 3rd, 2021. The first order of business will be opening and closing the meeting in memory of. And are there any individuals that my colleagues would like to remember at this moment?
I got some, I just.
A little repeat. Okay. First of all, I'd like to, I've got a couple of individuals, and the first individual, the remembrance could go long, but I really don't know where to start and begin. So I'll just mention, I'd like to remember Dave Berry, builder here in the city of Madera for many, many years, and definitely left quite a legacy. So I'd also like to remember Frank Ryland, who is a former employee of Madera County. He worked as a probation officer, correction officer for the County of Madera, and he was even in charge of the Madera Rescue Mission for a short period of time, and he passed away July 9th at UCSF. Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to remember Father Angel Sotelo, Father Angel from Chowchilla. He was the priest at the Chowchilla St. Columba Catholic Church. So ask that we keep the family of Father Angel and the parishioners of the church in our thoughts and prayers.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to mention Dave Berry also. He, a friend, I don't know, wasn't a great friend, but we did a lot of things. He gave me my first loan to build my first house. I said, so what I got to do? And he said, are you going to pay me back? I said, well, yeah. And he said, that's all I want to hear you say. So anyway, he made that first, and he was a pretty good friend with my boss at the ranch, Frank Wiley. And he'd come up with his helicopter and want to give us a ride. I wouldn't ride with him after he took off that time with his helicopter still tethered to the ground. So when he crashed,
That could be
so
a
I never
problem.
would ride with him. And I don't think Frank ever did either. But he'd land right there on the ranch, and we'd have to go pick him up and we'd go have lunch or something. He was a character. And then the other one was Peggy Guyette. She's actually from Reedley, but she was my mom raised in Reedley after they came out here from Oklahoma, and her husband and my mom went to school together. So, and she lived at Bass Lake for like 30 years. She worked with Sierra Ambulance and everything else. She was a great lady. So she passed.
I remember her husband Everett.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Good guy.
He drove the Bass Lake Queen around.
Right.
Lake.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, good times, boy.
There you go.
And then the last one was Mary Bigelow, Assemblyman and former supervisor, Frank Bigelow's mom. Great lady. She passed away recently, and she's done so much for the kids up there, especially, and for 4-H and FFA and stuff. And so, and she raised all these little dogs too. Every time I'd go to her house, I did a lot of work for them. In the old days when I had my upholstery shop and window shades and stuff. 20 dogs there sometimes, and little puppies and stuff. So she's a great lady. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Very good.
Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I add one from District 2 since Supervisor Rogers isn't here?
Please.
Gentleman named Lloyd Euler passed away recently. He's a longtime Chowchilla resident and pretty well known, just was always had a smile on his face, fun to talk to, and extensive military veteran. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Let's move on to our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Leading us in the invocation today, we have Father John Warburton from St. Joachim's. And I'd like to ask our Fire Chief, Matt Watson, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody stand, please?
O God, you are perfect communion of life and love, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. In you we trust. We put our trust in you who are ultimate, absolute, and infinite in truth, in goodness, in beauty, in love, and mercy, and justice, in life. Free, total, faithful, life-giving, life-affirming, life-sharing, life-protecting, self-gift. And you endow we human beings with this great dignity of being created in your image and likeness, endowed with free will, intelligence, desire, and emotion, that we can also participate in authentic love, giving ourselves as gift to other persons in sacrificial love. We ask your blessing upon this meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. Bless everyone who contributes to this meeting. Inspire them with your spirit of wisdom and care and love. We ask a special blessing upon the supervisors. Inspire them with a strong desire to make good decisions, seeking your wisdom to benefit everyone in Madera County, to really serve the common good, and to especially be attentive to those who are most in need and most vulnerable and most in need of help. We ask this blessing through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Father?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. We're moving on to our portion of the meeting known as public comment. And as a reminder, the first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record. Of the individuals here in the audience, or any comments wish to be made?
Good morning, Supervisors. Todd Beller, Auditor Controller. I would like to introduce you to our newest member in the Auditor Controller Department. We now have back again a Chief Internal Auditor, David Ridgestone. David comes to us with 30 years of audit and government accounting experience. He's a CPA. He's also a certified internal auditor. It's a great addition to our family, and so I'm here to introduce him.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
David Richstone, just
Glad to meet you all.
Very good. Well, welcome
Glad to be
aboard.
Thank you.
Where you from? New York City?
Initially, Florida mostly.
Oh, gee, that's close.
Yeah, Florida mostly, but I've been here about 3 years. now.
How's the
Central
commute?
California.
Oh.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Perfect. Very good. Are there any other public comments from those here? We have.
I got one.
Yeah, we've got Supervisor Wheeler and also an email. So we'll go to Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, I wanted to thank the board, our lawyers, our staff, and especially the Chickchansey Council. After many years, 3 or 4 years of negotiating and going back and forth, we finally signed Friday a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with them for 25 years. I'm going to file this. This is what I've had just for the last couple years, just on them. I'm going to put it up in my office for keepsakes.
There you
So
go.
25 years from now, when it runs out, they can look this up and see what we
You
did.
bronze it. Yeah. Very good. Well, speaking of Supervisor Wheeler, if you notice there's something, in back of him and in front of him and so forth. It looks like there's a birthday coming up tomorrow. But I don't think it's inappropriate for us to sing happy birthday to him now. So Supervisor Frazier, would you lead us?
Let me turn my mic off.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tom Worley. Happy birthday to you. Whoopee, whoopee, whoopee.
All right.
Thank
Any words
all
of
you, but
wisdom?
I'll tell you what, you still can't sing as good as I can, so nice try. Thank
Very
you.
good. All right.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Super. Very good. And then we have a public comment that will enter into the record from Madeline Harris. So, okay. If that is all of the public comments, we have a lot of important people here today, and that you have a lot of contributions to make to our city, our county, to the world. And so I'd like to be able to allow you to get out of here to do that without listening to us drone on about certain things. So we're going to move to 6A, 6B, and 6C for some special recognitions. And the first one would be 6A. This would be a presentation of a certificate recognizing the Madera High School baseball team in recognition of their Division II Central Section Championship. Supervisor Frazier.
Thank you. I got to get ready for this one, so all right, there we go. Yeah. So this is my honor. Usually, sorry, guys, I know that your season had run long. I usually like to do these recognitions when you can miss a little bit of school and still get some civics econ. But just really proud of you gentlemen and your accomplishments. Baseball is a game of failures, and it's something that is great for us to learn for the rest of our lives, how to push through that adversity, how to push through the failures. I mean, you look at the greatest hitter of all time, and he's only good 40% of the time. So it's just want to let you all know how much it meant to the community watching you win. I didn't get to see it in person, but I was watching Tyler Takeda's live tweets of and I was still on the edge of my seat for you guys to win. And this has been a year of adversity, and to be able to come through and bring back the championship for your community and for yourselves is something that no one will ever be able to take away from you. It's something that you'll be able to carry with you for the rest of your life. And just want you all to know how proud we all were in the community, and thought that you should be recognized for that here, for all of your efforts and everything you put in. the championship isn't won in the championship game. It's won in the off season. It's won at practice. It's won every at bat, every error, everything that it took to get there. And just very, very proud of you, young men. So I'm going to come down, and Chairman of the Board will come with me. We'll present you with your certificates, and again, just thank you from the community. So I'll read off your names, and not Supervisor Wheeler's. All right. Isaiah Monhe. Is that right? Isaac Murillo. David Zavala. Isaac Flores. Nathan Palacios. Nathaniel Martinez. Evan Candelaria. Ivan Ponce. J.R. Garcia. Marcus DeFranco. Matthew DeFranco. Tyler Zamora. Nick Sweet. Right here. Adam Arias. Zachary Robbins. Logan Wattenbarger. Matthew Del Toro. Used to wrestle with your dad and uncles. Luckily, we weren't in the same weight class. Benjamin Molina. Francisco Espejo. All right, and now for the no team is complete without their coaches, and all the dedication and time away from your family and creating another family of athletes. But we just thank you for your dedication to the students and the kids of our community. Andy Underwood, head coach. These are 2037 Section 2 champions, too. And with 20 years of coaching experience and a great podcast, Jacob Salwadati. Mike Purcell. I don't see Kenny Paulinelli here. He's hard to miss, yeah. Aaron Gist, the team manager. And I also don't see the athletic director, John Fernandez, here. He's probably trying to do some research so that I don't beat him in fantasy football again. All right, now we'll take a picture, and then we've also got a plaque here, too, to hang up with the rest of your hardware. Take the pictures, and if anybody wants to make one person from the team and one coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the board for having us on. This is really awesome. We won back in 2013 and didn't get to experience this. This is a really unique and cool experience for our guys, and just for them to be able to come in here and experience even a board meeting. So again, thank you guys for honoring us. It really means a lot to me and my coaching staff, and the players. This is something that they're going to remember forever. Parents, thank you for all the support. For everything you guys have done throughout their 4 years. And again, thank you very much.
Okay, we'll move on to item 6B. This is recognizing another terrific group of folks. We'll be presenting a proclamation proclaiming August 2021 as Child Support Awareness Month. And we have Carrie Valle, who will be presenting or providing some background information. So, yeah, Carrie, in fact, why don't, I think you've summoned everybody to come on up. Very good.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. I just found out late yesterday afternoon that I was going to be doing this, so we're just kind of winging it. So August is Child Support Awareness Month, and we just wanted to share with you some of our activities that we have planned and just a little bit about our department. This year, we challenged our staff. We're a very competitive office, and so we challenged, we divided our staff into teams, and we challenged one of them to come up with a poster and a theme for child support awareness. And we gave them a blank canvas and an hour to sit there and come up with a theme. And then they had 2 additional 1-hour sessions to plan out their poster. We had an internal and external voting process. And the winner of the poster contest, their theme was Be Your Child's Hero. That fits right in with the philosophy of our department. Not only are we interested in helping our customers and the families of Madera County financially, but we also want to, we educate and try and encourage our customers to become involved physically, emotionally with their children. Some of the events that we have planned, I think, really go along with that. Starting tomorrow night, August the 4th, every Wednesday for the month, we're going to extend our services and our office hours to 6:30 to allow our customers who can't make it between regular business hours to come in, discuss their case. On August the 11th, we are joining with the court facilitator's office. We have a lot of customers who have custody and visitation issues, not allowed to see their children. They can't afford private counsel to help them. So the facilitator's office has agreed to come and help give some information and some question answering session for those individuals. On August the 18th and the 19th, we're pairing up with First 5. We're doing a child safety presentation where they can come in, sit through a little presentation. They have questions. We're going to set up car seat safety inspections. And then finally, last Thursday, we just got the okay to proceed with the court diversion program. So we have individuals who we just can't contact and they're unwilling to pay. They can face contempt or criminal charges in the court system, and they can face jail time. And of course, that's not what we want. That doesn't help the family. It doesn't help anyone. So we are partnering with the workforce program, and our court commissioner is going to court order as part of their terms of their plea to go into this workforce program. And workforce is kind of a one-stop shop where if they don't have their education, they will help them get their GED, high school diploma. If they have immigration problems that are preventing them from getting employment, they'll have facilities and information to help them with that. They'll also have job training that they can qualify for. And then they also work with temporary agencies just to help on straight out job placement. When I met with Workforce, they told me that there are more jobs in Madera available now than they have individuals to place. So we're hoping that this court diversion program, being court ordered to participate, will help the families even more to become financially stable. Not only be your hero for our families, but it takes a group of heroes to make all of this happen. So our staff, every day when they come in, we ask them to put on their capes and their superhero mask to help put all of this together. I know that the last year and a half has been very difficult. Our office has remained open to the public. And I have our collection numbers. We run on a federal fiscal year. So we run from October 1st, September the 30th. And as of July the 1st, our local Madera County Child Support Office has collected $9,545,683 for the families of Madera County. So, I brought some of our superhero staff with us here. Okay. Ophelia, Mel. Antisa. Specialist. Also have our super Kelly Marcel, Del Rollins, Valdez, and Elsa. All there were 5 additional posters.
Well, very good. Thank you. Well, Carrie, it's based on your presentation and your skill set, it seems like you didn't need to have a 12-hour, notice. It looks like you just went right in there and did a great job. So thank you so much. And it's great having the rest of the superheroes with us here today, and we'd love to provide a proclamation to you at this time. And so maybe we can all gather here in the front and have chiefs of staff and so forth take some pictures. Okay, and then moving on to item 6C. By the way, I'd just like to let everybody know that these are the best parts of our meetings by far. Love to recognize folks and for fantastic achievements. So we will now go to 6C, and this would be the presentation of a proclamation proclaiming August 2021 as National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And we have, it looks to me like Sarah Boss.
Good morning. Sarah Boss, Public Health Director. Mr. Chair and Board of Supervisors, it's my pleasure to be here this morning. The United States started in 2011 designating August as National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And I am honored as a mom who breastfed 2 children to kind of lead the Department of Public Health in bringing this proclamation to the board and also introduce our Madera County Breastfeeding Coalition as we celebrate today as the first time that Madera County is naming August as Breastfeeding Awareness Month. I have a particular passion for breastfeeding. I was actually trained as a lactation coordinator 20 years ago during the time in which my son was an infant and I was breastfeeding, and learned so much around how wonderful it is, all of the biological things that happen for babies and for moms as they breastfeed and provide what is the most nutritious food source that we know. And we have yet in science to be able to imitate what breast milk can do for babies in any artificial way, because it provides antibodies and defense, immunity for the infant, and it's also responsive as the needs of that baby change over time. And that's not something that formula could ever do. And so it's a privilege and it's a wonderful experience to be able to feed your baby and provide that amazing food for them and great start in early childhood. And we want all families and all babies to be able to experience that wonderful kind of advantage for the rest of their lives, because it does reduce their chance of communicable diseases. It reduces ear infections, which we all, if we've had babies and kids, we know ear infections are really painful and terrible, but also can really impact their ability to reduce the incidence of cancer, diabetes, SIDS. So it just has these multiplying impacts. In Madera County, we still have a ways to go to really reach the breastfeeding rates that we'd like to. In California, the rate for any amount of breastfeeding, so some people use formula and breastfeeding in tandem. In California, 93.8% of moms are doing that. And exclusive breastfeeding is at 70% in California. But in Madera County, any breastfeeding is at 83%, a little bit lower, and exclusive breastfeeding is 49%. And we'd really like to see those rates improve for all the reasons I described earlier. So it's important to acknowledge that there are disparities in initiation rates for breastfeeding among certain racial and ethnic groups. And so our goals are to really meet people where they are and to effectively and responsibly voice a united message that's supportive of breastfeeding in our community. And we're thankful for today and our kind of identifying breastfeeding as important as a community in Madera County. And it's my pleasure now to introduce the lead, our chair for our breastfeeding coalition. Sylvia Stratford is a public health nurse in the Department of Public Health with our maternal child adolescent health program. Sylvia?
Good morning. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to Sarah and your team for sponsoring this item. On behalf of Madera County Breastfeeding Coalition, I would like to thank this board for your support in declaring August as Breastfeeding Awareness Month in Madera County, and for your support in promoting breastfeeding as valuable for improving the health of our community. As chair of our coalition, I would like to report, Sarah just reported, some of the statistics. We have from 2018 that our exclusive breastfeeding rate was 49.2%, and the any breastfeeding rate was 83.7%. And these are the numbers when they're in the hospital. So this is how we collect that data. We do celebrate that these rates are improved from previous reports. That's true. Still, there is much work to do to support all individuals who choose to breastfeed their infants. Our intention as a coalition is to address social and racial inequities by increasing resources for pregnant and breastfeeding mothers to ensure that they know where to seek trusted information whenever they need it. It could be in the middle of the night. This includes actions for building peer support for mothers and families, because we know the difference that it makes when you have peer-to-peer support, a lived experience and a shared experience. Another key area for supporting our families is to build workforce capacity. That's very important in public health. It's one of our key things that we need to be doing. So our coalition was instrumental in bringing breastfeeding pioneer, Dr. Jane Morton, to the Central Valley for our Central Valley Lactation Conference. This was just this past April. And really, I dared to even dream that we could bring her here, and we did. Attendees learned why simplicity and success are possible when we place our attention in the right area, and sometimes not in areas that we think are right. Dr. Morton's simple data charts offered compelling arguments for keeping it simple for our mothers and how this protects a mother's milk supply and does so much to promote attachment in the long run. And I assert that as we increase our breastfeeding rates, we will also increase job satisfaction. This is hard work. Sometimes we get discouraged, but we can be encouraged and we can be empowered together. Our coalition is committed to bringing more thought leaders to our community because we believe Maderans deserve to hear from the best. With that, I'd like to introduce Elia Medina. She is our coalition's communication officer, and she's also a health education coordinator in the department. She's working with the REACH grant and making very impressive strides in our workplaces. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I won't take too long. Elia Medina, Health Education Coordinator for Madera County Department of Public Health. Coordinating the REACH grant, which stands for Racial and Ethnic Approaches to Community Health, and it has a component on breastfeeding. So through clinical setting and worksite setting assessments, we have been able to identify opportunities that allow us to provide relevant resources and assistance to multiple worksites in the city of Madera. And some of the accomplishments that REACH has been able to have so far is providing technical assistance and support to community action partnerships of Madera County, or CAPMC, and which resulted in them adopting a lactation accommodation policy for their employees. We have also been able to establish a memorandum of understanding, or MOU, between Madera Community Hospital and our WIC program, which allows for direct electronic resources from the hospital to our WIC services, including the peer breastfeeding support group. And we have also been able to implement 6 different lactation spaces at 6 different work sites, which include the Madera Community Hospital, the Family Services Clinic, which is a division of the hospital as well, CAPMC, Madera Rehabilitation and Nursing Center, Madera Community College, and our own public health department. So we are excited. We are very thankful to with our community partners. And I would like to highlight the partnership with the community hospital, just because we have been able to accomplish so much through the collaboration and support that we have received. And I just wanted to add that it's not a common partnership that you see in other communities. So we are extremely thankful for their support and their collaboration in, connecting our families to services, and in the long term, it's going to increase breastfeeding rates. So we're really excited. We have here Ilse from the WIC program, our program manager, and we also have Becky from Director of Community Maternal and Wellness for the hospital. Not sure if they want to say something, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. My name is Elsie Arambidi, and I am the program manager for the WIC program. I want to acknowledge before I start, we have 18 nice county workers that work for the WIC department. They are present today. They're all certified lactation educators or counselors, and because of them, we have been able to provide services in the past year to 7,483 Maderians. And out of those 7,483 people that we have serviced, 576 have been breastfeeding women, 623 pregnant women, 356 postpartum women, 1,382 infants, and 4,645 children. Our breastfeeding rates, out of the 49% of the breastfeeding rates for the county, we have been able to keep up with 25% of that 49% because of these ladies that have dedicated themselves. We provided service. We never went home. We came every day, Monday through Friday, and provided through the phone. And some of the breastfeeding moms came to the office. Of course, we follow the COVID guidelines. And we are very proud also that we provide breastfeeding peer counselor program. This is a support group that 3 and 4 of these ladies maintain a caseload of about 80 people. So we have been able to provide to almost 400 moms. These moms can enroll from pregnancy all the way to 6 months of postpartum. And that is basically 9% of our participation of breastfeeding. So because of that, we contribute quite a lot to the county, and we have a lot of healthy babies because of that. Also, we maintain our obesity rate just for the participant of children at 19%, and we have been able to drop it to 17%. So breastfeeding does work, and this is why every year from August 1st to August 7th, we celebrate the breastfeeding, World Breastfeeding Week, which this year's theme is to protect the babies, and that's the theme for the World Breastfeeding Week. We appreciate and we thank you for your support.
Very good. Well, thank you for that thorough presentation. And we have a couple of my colleagues that have a comment or two, and Supervisor Gonzalez.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to the team. I just want to acknowledge the Breastfeeding Coalition. I had a meeting with them a few months ago, and it's nice to see them in person and not in a Zoom box. So welcome. I made a commitment to the coalition to look at our policies and our accommodations, and I'm continuing to do that work, talking to HR, even with parking and whatnot. So there's a lot of work that you have done throughout the pandemic and even before, and I just want to say thank you for that, because it's a service that's definitely needed in this community. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you. And Supervisor Frazier.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. My wife is a labor and delivery nurse who helps work towards this for people, but then when she needed a place to pump, couldn't even find it. So it's in a hospital, I won't say which one, but that, pushes it, right? And still didn't have those kind of accommodations. So it's very important you have the support of the board in those efforts. But, thank you for highlighting again, like reason 5,075, why women are stronger than men. They had just given 40 weeks to grow a child, and then aren't done there, are going, the next year or however long to give that child life. And it's an amazing thing to have watched with 4 children, the mental toll, the physical toll that it takes on a woman, and it's just an amazing thing that that they give life and sustain it. And but so my question, not from out of ignorance, but it's hard as a father to watch your partner go through that. Is there any education for dads to be able to know how to support and help in that? Because sometimes it's a feeling of, well, I can't do anything in the middle of the night other than change a
Yes.
diaper and help put them on. So just any kind of resource for that.
Yes, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Another lived experience, and this is what will serve men the most, in my view. I didn't share this earlier, but this is the Surgeon General's call to action to support breastfeeding, and it was last released in 2011. And as you can see, it's a book. It's a little book, and it's available online. And we are always working to include fathers, and I think that's an integral piece for sure. And like even with the preterm birth initiative, Fresno County, in collaboration, I think with UCSF, I'm not exactly, I think that's correct. They started this fathers group, and I got to go and listen to them share about their lived experience. It was so powerful. It was just one of the most powerful things I ever got to listen to. It's the inside story. Men up there sharing shoulder to shoulder about their weaknesses, sharing strengths, sharing complete, utter ignorance about what it takes when, they're faced with something so serious as a baby born so early. So I believe that in all of our programs, we're really reaching for that element because we really believe that makes a difference. So thank you so much for asking about that. And hopefully you'll hear more.
Yeah.
Yeah. More?
Yeah, this is only part 1 of the presentation.
Yeah.
All right, very good. If there's no other comments or questions or need for elaboration, we'd like to have everybody join us here in the front, and so that we can have a picture of the presentation of the proclamation. Guys, just go ahead and hold it. And then, are you sure? All right, there you go. Okay, the next item, we do have a public hearing scheduled for 10:30, and this would be item 7A. This is the Board Director Special Districts Maintenance District number 22, hearing to consider adoption of a resolution ordering the making of amended assessments for MD 22.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Andrea Saldati, Deputy Director for Public Works. This is a public hearing to revise the assessment on a parcel in MD 22 Oakhurst. A parcel went through a parcel split and created a new APN, and so the assessment has to be distributed appropriately. The applicant did not fill out the application. If they had filled out the application, we would not have to go through this process, but because they did not, we do have to do a public hearing, allow them to come forward if they so choose, and then we're able to revise the assessment.
Very good. Are there any questions regarding this item?
Have you heard from them at all?
No, sir, we have not.
Okay.
Very good. If there's no other comments from my colleagues, this is a public hearing, so I'd like to open up the hearing to the public for any comments. Hearing and seeing none, we'll
Move
close
to
the public
approve.
hearing.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. And now we will circle back to the consent calendar.
Circle the wagons first, okay?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're on this consent calendar, and are there any items on the consent calendar a supervisor would like to have pulled for further discussion or elaboration?
Chairman, Y, Z, and AA.
Y, Z, and AA. Okay, any others?
Item J, please.
J? Okay. All right, if that's it, let's go ahead and start with J.
Wait, is that the, oh, I'm sorry. Did I pull the wrong one?
J is the one with the,
Yes.
yeah.
I just, I wanted to know if we could get a presentation on this rental assistance program. I was listening to the news yesterday, and they were saying that only $3 billion of the 40+ billion that's available nationwide has been utilized. And so there seems to be an issue, and I just kind of wanted to get the temperature of what is happening here in Madera and how many people we've actually assisted and the statistics and to see where the gaps are. So if we could
Great idea.
get that information, that'd be
great idea.
helpful so that we can address it.
I think that's a great idea. Have it on.
All right, I think county administration has direction on that, so very good, thank you. And next one is Y.
Thank you. Hi, Ms. Tracy.
Hi.
In the backup board letter, on the second page, on the second paragraph, it says, I'll read it off of here now, shortage that exceeds $20 occurs on a property tax payment. Payment is not able to be applied in a short notice mailed to the taxpayer requesting the difference. Taxpayer has 10 days to submit the difference in shortage. If the shortage is not received, the tax collector, by the tax collector, the short payment is not processed and returned to the taxpayer. That happened to me last year. You did not send that to me. You didn't give me notice. You sent me another letter that said I owed more money.
Mm-hmm.
How come I didn't get that notice of that 10 days? I could have paid that.
I don't know your situation specific. Oh, Tracy Kennedy, Madera County Treasurer Tax
Oh,
Collector.
that's who you are.
I don't know, Tom. I'd have to look it up specifically.
Yeah.
But
I've
our
had other people call me, and I've had them call
standard
me.
operating procedure is to go ahead and send a short notice to the taxpayer.
Yeah.
I don't know why you might not have gotten one. So, I mean, that's something that we can look at if you give me specifics. This is one thing that I've tried to teach my people is we can't deal in generalities. If we have a complaint, it needs to be specific. We need a parcel. We need to who's involved and what the circumstances are. Because, that's how bad rumors get started, right? It's like, oh, I had 10 people call me. Well, I want all 10, and I want to know their situation. Because if that's it, then we've got to break down in our procedure or if there's other extenuating circumstances that we're not aware of. Because, I mean, we get literally hundreds of thousands of payments a year, right?
Well, I know.
Hundreds of thousands.
Absolutely, I agree,
Yeah.
but I didn't
So-
know we had that policy because.
Yeah, no, our
I thought
policy
I'd asked
is,
you that, and
if
I've had,
it's- yeah.
I've had other people, one was this year, tax deal, and they said that you guys didn't accept it and sent it back to them.
We didn't accept their short payment,
Yeah,
and it was under $10 or $20.
well, I don't know how much it was.
Yeah.
So if it's under 10 or.
Well, this changes it from 10 to 20, and so
if
this
it's
allows
over
us
that,
to
it don't
accept
count?
it. Excuse me?
If it's over that, you don't do that?
No, if it's over that, we send them a notice and we tell them that they owe us money. And if they don't respond within a certain number of days, we send their money back. We send their check back, which usually gets their attention.
No, I didn't realize that you did that. I thought you just
Right.
sent them back if there wasn't a correct amount. I thought you sent them back.
Right. And if they overpay and it's under $20, we keep that. It's, we're allowed to keep that. We don't have to refund it. If they overpay over $20, then we have to send it to them in a refund. We have to move the money from,
You
tax
actually
collector.
deposit it and then send
We have
them
to,
a
yeah, we deposit it, then we put it in a trust fund, and we have to, post
If they
it.
write one check for more than one property, you do that too? You have to have separate checks for each piece.
No, we don't want separate checks for each piece. We don't, if you can just do one check in the aggregate for all the parcels, and if they're, depending on if they're short and over, I mean, that's why we look at them all, that's why these accounts were established, dozens of years ago, is to allow for this processing. But no, we really want, if you can do one check for 50 parcels. In fact, there's a new law, it was not new, it's been on the books for 10 years, that if you're paying over $50,000 in property taxes, we can require you to do it by EFT. And, which, electronic funds transfer, to where you're not writing a check at all, to where you have to go to your bank and say, okay, I'm going to wire you the money, or an ACH, automated clearinghouse, to where we can get that money directly from your bank to our bank, and checks aren't even involved. Just in the last 3 years, we have been really reaching out to the taxpayers that pay an aggregate of $50,000 or more, and we have listing of those, of course. And we're sending out notifications to them. We're trying to encourage them to do EFT. We really want them to do e-checks. E-checks are free, right, Brett Fraser? And anyway, e-checks are free. Save a stamp, right? Save a tree. E-checks are free, and you can do that online. You can do that online. It's got a shopping cart. So if you have more than one parcel, you can do each parcel, create a shopping cart, goes right into your, asking you for your checking account information. You can enter that. Boom, boom.
And in that case, it'll never be $10 or $20 over or short. It'll just be the exact amount.
It would be, because it calculates it for you.
That sounds efficient.
I know. Who'd have thunk?
But wait, there's more.
But wait, yes, there is. The beauty of using e-checks is that you can post it immediately. You can print out a receipt for your records, and you can see that it posted exactly to your accounts and your parcels. So, but we've been doing some outreach for the last 3 years to our top taxpayers that pay $50,000 or more. But for your specific situation, I don't know, but that our policy is that if you're
Well, I come
short,
down and talk
to
to you, but
notify.
I know you get a million of those a year, so you
Yeah.
probably don't remember, but.
But I mean, we try to work with the taxpayer, of course, I mean, that's our deal. We're really taxpayer advocates. We're not against the taxpayer. I mean, that's
No, that's good to
who
know,
we serve,
because
right?
I could have sworn you said that, we always send them back. If it's-
No, we don't know. No, we have an actual little slip of paper. It's called a short notice, and we fill in the parcel number, the day we got it, what the situation was, and we send it back to the taxpayer. A lot of times they may ignore it, and if they ignore it, then eventually they'll get their check back, But I
Okay.
mean, that, we have no choice, because we can't post it if it's, too short. But if it's, and this resolution, I'm going to ask the board to remove it actually from the agenda. But It is just to change the threshold from $10 to $20 based on revenue and taxation code, new legislation that went into being. So, and it's just an efficiency, and we have to budget for it, of course. About 9:45, I just happened to be in the hallway, and I ran into Todd Miller, the auditor controller, and he was stating that he was going to oppose the resolution the way that it was worded, that it didn't need to be worded the way that it was. I don't know. I didn't get an email or a phone call, I guess they were out. But anyway, that he was going to oppose the resolution, but that the threshold was okay, but he didn't like the language on the resolution. Now, what has happened in the last couple of years, the board has authorized the auditor controller to perform these functions, right? To perform the function of cash difference and overs, cash difference shortages, creating petty cash funds, things of that nature. So anyway, since the board has authorized the auditor controller to perform those functions, then what we can do is remove this item today, and what we will do is send him a memo, the auditor controller's office, to increase the threshold to allow us to go from $10 to $20. So
you want to pull this one?
So Y is off the books.
If we vote for it.
Well, however you want to do it. There's nothing against it. There's nothing against
Just
it.
the
I mean,
language.
this is all through revenue and taxation code. It's perfectly allowed through the law, through the code. It's an internal situation that he had.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
that's my recommendation.
Well, very good. All that
Why didn't you
to,
say that first?
But wait,
Yeah.
well, because he had a question, I had to answer his
Okay, got it.
question.
wait, there's more.
Well,
You were
no,
right.
I can go over the resolution and we can talk about the whereases. If
That's
you'd like.
okay.
So there's a way to do it just administratively? Through the
Administratively, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Okay, thank you. Item Z, as in zebra.
I just, in the, it's the page 2 also. It's on number, on page 2, DWR will provide $443 for this item, and $210,000 will be for veg management and blood maintenance assistant. That veg management, is that just for in the levees, or can it be done in some of the creeks and stuff up in the foothills?
It can be done within the project channels, which go from the bypass up to the reservoirs, but not as far
above
as you're
that.
discussing within Oakhurst.
That's the main thing. Was, and there would be some places that really needs so.
Yes, and our Deputy Director, Jeannie Hobbin, is considering how to approach a 1602 permit within the foothills that would allow for vegetation removal on the Oakhurst River Parkway.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I was just hoping.
Thank you. And item AA.
Yeah, on AA, this DEGS, tell me first of all, what does DEGS stand for? And all the backup, I couldn't find where DEGS.
Andrea Soldati, Deputy Director of Public Works. DEG stands for the Department of Engineering and General Services, which, as you guys know, is a defunct part of our structure at this point. So DEGS is a term that we reference for our field staff. So we say DEGS time, meaning our field staff. And they were previously under the Department of Engineering and General Services.
Oh, okay, so we keep borrowing money out of that. We're borrowing $3,100 for this one. What is the amount that's in that, and where was that derived from, and how does it work?
So the
I know
DEGS
I've
trust.
asked this before, but for some reason I went blank last night, so I need to have it explained.
No
to me,
problem.
and the public needs to know.
The DEGS Trust Fund was a fund that was set up for folks that were requesting a permit from the Department of Engineering, and they essentially put in a deposit. And then they never came back to pull their deposit out. and say, okay, I'm not going to move forward with this permit, or please apply my deposit to my permit as they move forward. We no longer have that process in place. And so it was essentially a lump sum of money that were these deposits for permits from the Department of Engineering. And so that money has just been sitting there, and we've been using it for our cash flow loans. And so the fund actually differentiates between throughout the year, because we do have districts paying money back in. And then at the end of the year, we see how much money is in that fund, and we use it to cash flow other districts. So at this point in time, I believe there's roughly $200,000 in it.
So we got $200,000 of other people's money that we've never requested to have it back? Come back?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's amazing. And how many years does that go up there?
Yeah, it's Supervisor Wheeler, Matt Trieber, Chief of Development Services, and so you bring up a good question, and we are looking at it, and it's been something that we have looked at for a number of years in the past. This dates back and has been utilized since probably more than a 2016 timeframe. These funds, and again, as Andrea said, we don't do this process anymore, but these were collected over decades. And so, yeah, it is certainly unusual.
Is there a
but these funds,
timeline that the people can ask for that money back?
We have spoken with county council as to how to kind of remedy this situation. And so they do have a little bit of a course of action where we could do a public notice and allow people to come forward and say, and essentially claim it. They would have to show proof that it is
They
due
get
to them.
paid
Exactly.
$100,000 or-
Exactly, yeah. And because of the fact that this money has been collected decades ago, we may not have the documentation anymore. And so the burden of proof would be on them to say, yes, I did deposit $5 back in 1984.
1978.
Yeah, exactly. So it
Okay.
is something that we've been talking with county council about how to essentially fix this situation.
So right now, we just use it as a bank account, so we don't have to take it out of our general fund dollars to help these districts that are upside down.
Yes.
Bottom line. Okay, thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Supervisor Frazier.
And so it would have been collected as a deposit, or essentially a fee for engineering work and general services work, which is why we could legally use it for general or public works. It would be under general services in that sense, right? Be able to use it legally.
Yes. So the permits would have been something that would have been within a special district or within any of our county water sewer infrastructure type situation. So it is a lawful use of the funds, because it's not like we're putting it out on the roads, which it was not ever meant for roads. We are using it within essentially it's staying within its home.
Great. Just wanted to point that out.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yeah, just to add on, because I had questions the last time these items came up about it. Is there a way to change the name of the fund? I think you guys had said you
To the
were working
digs?
with the auditor's office, right? Just so it's a little more clear and more transparent.
Yeah, absolutely, Supervisor. That's a good point. And we have a couple of those instances where we have antiquated account names and those aspects, whether it's in budget docs or so we will work with admin and auditor's office and try to rectify those so we get appropriate names to that.
Supervisor Frazier.
To that point, I think that if we were going to change that so that it wasn't, I think we should go through that process of the public notice, that anybody who needs it could claim it, and then after that, change the name so that we don't
Right.
forget what it was originally intended for. And if anybody has
Good point.
a claim to that money, they can do it through that process. Once we go through that public notice process
new
with the
name.
time frame, then changing the name would probably be the best way to do it.
Thank you guys
Absolutely.
so much.
We could do that.
Okay, very good. If there's no other questions on that item, and if there's no other questions on the consent calendar, are there any members of the public who have any comments?
Move
regarding
to
the consent
approve
calendar?
pulling item Y to August and move it to August 17th.
Second. Are we moving it to August 17th, or are they going to handle it administratively through the auditor's office?
Tracy, you want to remove it and forget about it, or do you want to move it to August 17th? Why? Remove it completely? Oh, okay. I move that we approve the consent calendar, removing item Y completely.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote.
Supervisor Wheeler,
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier,
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Poitras.
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Okay, thank you. 6D, discussion and consideration of entering into an Austin Quarry traffic mitigation agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt Treber, Chief of Development Services, on this item. So this is born out of the 2016 project approvals for Austin Quarry. This was a mitigation measure requirement that the board placed on the project to enter into a traffic mitigation agreement prior to any sales of material offsite. So the agreement identifies the 8 intersections and 9 road segments to which Vulcan is required to fund a fair share contribution of the ultimate build out of that. This includes, 8 lanes and interchanges at 12 and 41 and 15 and 145. So this would be the full build. The agreement also stipulates the fact that they're paying as we're expanding those facilities. So, for example, our project on the 41 corridor we currently have, or a 4-lane expressway, they would be mandated to pay those percentages identified in the EIR and that are within this agreement. In addition to this, there is, they've already entered into an agreement with Caltrans for that mitigation aspects as well. The one big note that also points out this is on the conditions of approval for that project. Back when it was approved, it had a condition to either install a, sorry, I'm going to move over here so I'm not looking through flowers at Supervisor Gonzalez there, to install a southbound lane on 41 from Avenue 15 up to Highway 145, or provide a $20 million revolving loan fund that is paid back to Vulcan at an interest rate, prime interest rate plus 1% at that time. So this agreement stipulates that they are moving forward with the southbound lane rather than that revolving loan fund. So if the board approves this item, then I'll be directing Public Works staff to make sure we plug in immediately with Caltrans and get to work on that southbound lane, which is 100% on the cost of that, and all work is borne by Vulcan, and there is no payment back to Vulcan out of any impact fee program. So we do estimate that improvement at $30 to $35 million. I'm available for any questions if the board has any.
Very good. Supervisor Frazier.
When would that southbound lane have to be put in?
So the good thing about the agreement and the way the condition was worded and adopted at the board in 2016 is once Caltrans provides notice that the construction will be ready within a year, Vulcan fully funds that improvement. So what I mean by that is we, the county and the state of California, we're in the driver's seat on timing. So as soon as we get through this, we're going to be pushing Caltrans to get to work on those PA&E documents and the CEQA. We've already got some of that with our current project because we did the EIR, but we'll be getting that construction level requirements. So it won't be in 12 months, but there'll be a lot of work being done in the next 12 months, but with any luck, we'll have that under construction here the next 2 to 3 years, and Vulcan will have fully funded all costs of that within 2 years.
So it's all costs, it's not just construction costs?
Correct.
It's mitigation, land acquisition, all of it, and that's why it's the 30 to 35 million?
Correct.
It's not just building the lane, it's everything that goes.
Yes, that is correct. It includes all of the environmental offsite mitigation requirements. It involves, the environmental impact report, vehicle mile traveled analysis, right-of-way acquisition, because there is not substantial enough right-of-way.
Bridge over the canal.
Yeah, one of the big impacts is the canal crossing out there, the Madera Canal crossing, that this will have to address as well, and most likely a flyover of that canal out there. So hence the $30 to $35 million estimate from Caltrans.
Will Caltrans do the environmental work, or will they produce the EIR, or we would? Or
That it's an excellent question, Supervisor, and in fact, we have been discussing that internally with staff as to whether we go through cooperative agreements and that aspect. I'll be honest, I think that's probably the fastest route, and so the route I would take. It also
the least expensive route too for them. We don't want to.
Correct.
We
It
don't
is
want to
easy.
spend their money on something that blows up. I think it would be better if we go through and do a cooperative agreement with, because I think they can get like a 70%.
Caltrans likes to mark up
yeah.
from private. So correct. It is cheaper for Vulcan, and frankly, I believe it is faster if the county is involved through that process and assisting getting through that aspect. So
because that 35 million could easily get to 45, and that's just kind of ridiculous. So anything we can do to help move it along and help with them keep their costs down, I think would be a good thing. Okay. That's all I have.
Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, just go ahead and take it off. He asked most of the questions I was going to ask.
Oh, sorry.
Good job. No, that's fine.
Very good. Are there, if there's no other comments from my colleagues, are there any members of the public who have any comments? Hearing and seeing none, I'll bring it back for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Okay,
Good
thank
deal.
you. Item 6C, consideration of approval of set salary range for building permit services manager.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt Treber, Chief of Development Services, as well on this. So on at the July 13th board meeting, your board authorized the creation of the job spec for our building permit services manager. And so we're here today to set those salaries. I believe Civil Service Commission has also met on this, so and recommended the salary as identified in the board report. I'm available for any questions.
Any questions?
Nope.
If not, are there any members of the public who have any comments regarding this item? Hearing and seeing none, I'll bring it back for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. 6F, this is introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 2.04 of Title II of Madera County Code pertaining to the Clerk of the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you're okay, I'm going to sit up here behind Supervisor Wheeler's flowers and
There we
inform
go.
you. So
There you go.
like the voice from the wilderness, right? No burning bush, though.
Right.
This is a minor change to this particular chapter of your county ordinances 2.04, 0.020, and 0.030. The main and only change that I'm aware of is in the bottom paragraph of the first page, where the first part remains as before. The clerk of the Board of Supervisors shall direct and oversee the operations of the office of the clerk of the Board of Supervisors, subject to the direction of the Board of Supervisors. And then the new language is, and shall also receive general administrative direction from county administrative officers. So the item before you today is the introduction of this ordinance and a request to waive the reading and set it for August 17th.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions, comments? Any members of the public who might have any comments or questions? Hearing and seeing none.
Move that we waive the reading and set the second reading for August 17th, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Item 6G, this is the second reading to adopt the ordinance repealing certain fees found the Madera County Code as required by AB 1869.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any members of the public who have any comments on this particular item? Hearing and seeing none.
Great presentation.
I'll ask
Thank you very much.
Good
for
job,
a-
man.
It must be the suit, Chris.
I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Chairman Poitras?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Easiest presentation yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. All right, looking good. All right, thank
Good
you.
man.
Okay, we'll move on to pending legislation. I don't believe we have any unless something's popped up over the last few days.
None that I'm aware of, sir.
We're safe because the legislature is out of session. Supervisor and staff reports. I'll start to my right. Supervisor Frazier.
Couple things. Did attend the MOU signing. That was a great day up at Station 8 up at Chick-Chansey, and thank you to everybody that was involved in that to get it to where it was, and great job, Rob. Way to get it over the finish line.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep.
And then on Sunday, we unveiled a new engine at Station 7, and that relatively new one it's replacing is going up to Oakers. So we're getting new equipment everywhere. It looks great out on the road, and much safer for everybody. So check out the new grills. They're really cool. It's got like the American flag and Madera and lights. It's pretty neat. And I think that's about it.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes, I just want to acknowledge Carla, my chief of staff. I want to thank her for putting together our ice cream social over at the Parksdale Community Park, and it was very successful. We had a lot of kids who came for seconds and thirds, and so they were sugared up that afternoon. But I want to thank her for all her hard work in putting that together. It was very successful. And then we also attended the Habitat for Humanity home dedication for a family, beautiful home, and there's 4 others, I believe. So that was great. And then the week before, I attended the CSAC Latino Caucus meeting. So we learned a lot about energy, fire. There were so many topics, and it was just nice to meet some of the supervisors from different counties and talk about their needs and share some of the similarities and the differences that we have. So I'll also be attending the New Supervisors Institute for the first time in person. So I'll be there next week, and I'll get to meet some of the new supervisors for the first time. So I'm very excited to participate in all these things.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, good. It was just a great day last Friday up there with the MOU signing, so highlight for lots of work. Other thing is this Thursday at 6 to 8, I have my town hall. Got a lot of great speakers, Forest Service, the Sheriff, Public Health, Community Action Partnership, Department of Social Services, Fresno Madera Aging, Senior Center of the Sierras. So it's going to be a good meeting and Zoom meeting, and so looking forward to it.
Very good. And my report is I had the opportunity of attending a LAFCO Municipal Services report at the Pines in Bass Lake.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that was Supervisor Wheeler did a great job sharing the meeting, and I got a chance to meet some of the constituents up there. And so anyway, very interesting. There's about 30 people, I think, attended that. So definitely a lot of local interest. CAO Varney, any comments?
I just want to let the board know that Risk Management, HR, and Public Health have been meeting to put together some guidelines so that we can meet the state's expectation of full implementation of new COVID guidelines by August 23rd. So the guidelines will be out next week. We have 2 weeks to implement them. Many of the things we're already doing, such as the things related to custody facilities. So it won't be a total retread, but there will be some minor changes. That's all my report.
Very good. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yeah, I forgot to say that I went over to Mono County last weekend for we had a dinner Sunday night and a Arts meeting Monday. All the other counties and other supervisors are really happy that we're part of them now, and so we'll be voting on that next meeting. So I thank you guys again, because I think it's very important for us to be part of that. They think so too, so it was great.
Wait a minute, we haven't voted on it yet, right?
No.
Uh-oh.
Supervisor Frazier.
One more thing, on Friday, it just dawned on me on Friday, the other thing we had was Doug Nelson's retirement. I just wanted to wish him a happy retirement, and thank you for all of his years of dedication to the county. So, yeah.
Very good, thank you. Council, any comments?
None, Mr. Chairman. Pleasure to be here, like I said earlier, filling in for Regina for this week. Thank
Great
you.
having you here. Thank you, Scott. Clerk of the board.
Just happy birthday again to Supervisor Wheeler.
Thank you, Karen, very much.
Super. Well, with that, we will close our meeting and we'll recess actually for 2 hours, and we'll be back by 1:30 to complete our closed session.
Is there any way we could do the, release the public employee review, or do we have?
Well, yeah, we could. I know they, I just don't know how
No,
much.
there's going to be parking issues, maybe we'll just go over there.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Thank you.
I wasn't thinking.
You know what? As long as we've got a Right. We're back from closed session, and there is nothing reportable out of closed session, and we shall adjourn. Thank you, everybody.